Hey guys, welcome back to AF Farms and welcome back to our new player series on Elm Creek. So starting a new farmer mode, targeted for brand new players to the series. So picking up from last video, we are basically harvesting some wheat that we didn't plant. I just need to turn my menu back on quickly. So I turn these off for screenshots. So that's got a worker involved. We'll drop this header off. And then we'll just back in, drop off this crop into the trailer. So we're about halfway done with this field we just purchased. So we're going to harvest the crop here. We're going to sell it back to the main PDA. We've also got some wheat next door actually, so I wonder if we can get that up as well, because that would be very handy at this stage of the gameplay. So that is actually oats, so we're not interested in oats because we can't feed oats to the chickens. We can only feed sorghum, barley and wheat. Okay, let's get this guy reconnected. So we'll just come up nice and slow, pick up the header, hire the worker again. So while he is harvesting, we will go and drop this off into the chicken pen. So it's a nice short trip back to the farm. So we're still in July, we haven't moved forward in game time yet. So basically once we get this wheat up, the plan is to sleep again, keep an eye on the vehicle sales to see if we do get any sort of movement or opportunities there. So basically what you do here is just drive over to this trigger, get the trailer in position, start overloading the wheat, and then I forget the capacity of this chicken coop. So the silo here is basically allows you to store bulk grain, so you don't have to top it up every day. So if we just hop out here, we should see 8,000 litres is gone in. So if we come down to our animal menu, it will take probably maybe 9 to 10,000 litres. So anything that's remaining, we'll just chuck in the big silo, have it on hand for the chickens as they need it. Now the thing with wheat that is interesting is that we do get a significant yield. So it's probably one of the higher yielding crops, which is very handy because basically that's how you make your money out of wheat. You've got to harvest a lot of it if you're going to sell it just as a grain. However, you're better off selling it or converting it into flour and then into bread, because then you can sort of increase the value. Obviously in our case here we're taking the wheat, turning it into eggs, and the price of eggs does max out around about 4 grand. So 4,197 is the peak price, and that's in November. Bread also does pretty well, so that's something I always tend to play with. So that's 5,421. But to do bread, we need to invest in the grain mill, and also we need to buy the bakery. So the bakery obviously produces the bread, but we're basically taking the input of wheat, turning it into flour in this case. So that fetches about 2 grand per 1,000 litres. Take that flour, turn it into bread. So we're multiplying the value of the initial input, which in this case is the wheat, which you can only get $1,200 for, best price. So nearly sort of 4 to 5 times what it's normally worth. So here we go, we've got a second load. So obviously we're picking up quite a bit of wheat here, which is ideal. So this is going to feed our chickens hopefully for not a huge amount of time, but just gives us enough to at least start producing eggs. The other thing we probably want to look out for is a telehandler with a forklift attachment. So we want to use that for moving the egg pallets around. We can use the lizard pickup to deliver those egg pallets until we can afford to get a decent trailer. So we'll see how we go there. Alright, so we've got another full load here. So we may actually get another full load out of this field. So we'll find out. But we've gone 2 trailer loads so far, and we're about 2/3 of the way through, and we've probably got about 1/3 left. So we might go close. Alright, let's cut through the back entrance here. Over the bumpy terrain. So I'm going to go straight to the silo this time. So to do the overloading, R1 and triangle. So there we go, that's 8,000 litres. So let's check on the capacity of the... Yeah, so there's no need to really do another load. I'll just drive the combine back with the product inside and drop it off directly into the silo. So we've still got the same vehicles. Just take a bit of a look at the harvester here at work. It's a really cool animation on the threshing and the cutting. Alright, let's fold the header, get our drawbar to come out. We want to detach that. So it looks like we ended up with 16,000 litres plus 5,000, so 21,000 litres of wheat there. So that's going to be very good for the chickens. Now let's see if we can sneak in through the back with this draper header. It is a little bit long, and this is a bit of a dip, so I don't think we'll get stuck, but we should be fine. Yep. Another thing we want to look to probably add to the roster is going to be... Let's disconnect that there. Is bees. So bees are relatively inexpensive, don't take up a lot of room, and the honey does fetch a reasonable price. Another thing to consider is greenhouses, which I talked about in a previous episode, but we don't have the space at the moment. So have I disconnected that? Yes, I have. Oh, another thing you can do is with your combine, you can unload directly into the chicken coop, just like this. So it saves you having to transit and double handle the material, in this case the wheat. So we'll just drop this off. We'll check how much stock we've got on hand of wheat. Okay, so we've got 14,000 of oat, 12,000 of wheat, and 2,000 of canola. So we'll hang on to that canola, because we can turn that into canola oil, but we've got to purchase the oil mill. So basically over time, I mean, initially you've got to probably focus on one area of farming. So for us at the moment, it's just the arable farming, so soybeans and related crops. Okay, so we're all good there. We've got to sell that field back. So we'll sell that. We'll flip that field. So we go into the map, push L3, and then R3, and then triangle to sell. So that's 170,000 back in the bank. All right, let's sleep. So fingers crossed we get a decent tractor. 300 horsepower is what we're looking for, and it can be medium or large. Alright, let's have a look. Ooh, so we've got the Massey Ferguson. Oh, we've got a decent truck here. Truck and trailer. So this is the Wilson trailer pace setter. So this will do 40.8 cubic meters. So I don't think it displays a literage actually. It might just be displaying the weight. So if we have a semi-trailer, we can connect this up and we can move a fair amount of crop at one time. So I'm going to pass on that. This is a potato topper, so you've got to cut the foliage off the potatoes before you harvest them, but that's not what we're going to be covering at the moment. Alright, let's just check our growth map. So our harvest has still got probably 1 to 2 days left. What is this yellow crop? That's sunflowers. Any sorghum close by? No. Okay, so what we're going to do is, actually let's check on the eggs and how much feed has been used. So they've used 800 litres in 1 day, so that's a full roster of chickens, and we've got a full pallet, so that is, what is this, 1400 pieces of eggs, 340 kilos, and we've almost got a second pallet there. So if we go into the animal menu, so they're not quite reproducing, so we've got 360 chickens. So under conditions, it's got productivity in eggs. So when that eggs bar reaches the end, you can't spawn any more pallets. And reproduction's at 50%, so they're not old enough to, well, they're reproducing at 50%, but because there's no space in the chicken coop, they won't actually spawn any more chickens. So that's fine. Got some eggs, that's good. So hopefully we can get close to a pallet of eggs per day. That would be ideal. Alright, so let's sleep. Alright, let's check on our crops. So we're getting a little bit low there on the eggs, which is fine. We've got 4,966. So we've got, let's just check the price of eggs quickly. So peak price for eggs is November, which is October, November, so 2 months away. So we could actually look to sell some of these. Let's check our equipment. We've got a small Massey Ferguson, which we're not really interested in. We've got a forage harvester header, and then we've got a sugar beet harvester. Pretty good bit of gear, but we're not interested in that at the moment because we're not doing sugar beets. I'm going to leave the food as is because we've got 5,000 litres there, so we can afford to get by another day. Okay, let's sleep again. So you can see now we're starting to layer in some of those additional crops. So we've got the soybeans, obviously. We've got the chickens. So really we're just starting to add to our farm. So we're in fall now. Looks like October. Eggs will be best price next month. Let's just go and see how many we got. Food's down to 3,600, so I'll have to top that up soon. So we really need to get a forklift here to start moving these pallets out the way, so we can spawn some. Because once this pallet spawns, there'll be no more space for egg pallets. So let's have a look at used equipment. Oh, once again, we've lucked out here. Nothing really useful for us. The wheat's nearly there. And it looks like the soybeans are ready. So ready to harvest. So let's get them up. So while the harvester is harvesting, I will refill the chicken coop with wheat. Okay, let's give that a nudge. See if I can get it to connect. Almost. Alright, looks like we are good to go. Fold that header. This won't take very long at all, so I'm just going to do a little strip here and then I'll reverse. Probably should have just done the whole row, to be honest, but let's just crack on with that. Grab our trailer. So we're also going to need to get that field cultivated. And we may have to just check the price of eggs again. So the eggs are going to be max price next month. So if I don't sell them tomorrow, basically we'll have to wait another 12 months for the best price. So I think what I'm going to do there is I'm going to have to lease, or we're going to have to buy the cheapest telehandler or forklift. Because the other issue too is you can't pick them up. Right, so that didn't take the full load. I knew it wouldn't. So we'll just drop off the remaining stuff here. Oh, still hanging out for that tractor. Fingers crossed. So what I'm going to do, rather than cultivate this straight away, I'm going to sleep for one more day. Just on the odd chance that we do get a tractor sale come up. Okay, so let's dismiss the hour worker. Just going to quickly flick around, grab this last little bit of crop. Okay, turn that off. Just going to park the header. So I'll flick around so for later on when I go to pick it up, it's not in the way. Okay, drop that off. Get this tractor and trailer out of the way. Jump back in, get our pipe out, and see if we can't. So what I'm going to do this time actually, I'm going to try and do a little trick maneuver. So let's go. Didn't quite work out. So sometimes coming at it from the side here is a little bit easier. So let's see if we can't drop them in. Yeah, it's fine. That'll work. So in hindsight, I should have moved the chicken coop over to the left a little bit, so closer towards the red barn, just to allow the harvester a bit easier access, but it is working just for the moment. Okay, let's have a look where we're at. Okay, nothing to purchase. This will probably be ready to harvest next month. We're going to max out on pallets of eggs probably after this cycle, and I think the price of eggs is highest in November. So let's just, yeah, so still got a little bit more room to go on that. But fingers crossed we get a tractor or a forklift or telehandler. Okay, so no more space to store chicken pallets, so we can see that there. So if we go into our animal menu, it's basically maxed out. So basically what will happen now is the chickens won't produce any eggs for us, and they won't eat any more food until that space is cleared up. So this is ready to harvest, so let's get our harvester underway. At least. And then we'll come back and we will check out the equipment sales. Come on, let's connect. And I'm going to cultivate this field while we're waiting. Alright, let's do a headland row. So I'll get in nice and close. So just hire a worker just for this little run here. And then once we get to the end, I will switch positions so we're going long ways. Alright, let's back it up. Put it on the harvester. We just want to overlap this sort of left-hand edge just a little bit. And we're good to go. Okay, so we'll get this guy back to the farm, hook him up with the cultivator. Driving on the wrong side of the road, but living life on the edge. Yeah, so you can already see how much that harvester has picked up of that wheat. So much more efficient. Alright, let's drop off our fertilizer spreader just outside the barn here. So you can utilise this barn for storage if you want to, but I just find it's a little bit easier just to leave your implements out in the open, so you can easily come in and, not like that, but pick them up and move on to the next job just that little bit quicker. Okay, so we'll go straight over to the far corner, get this guy underway. We haven't checked used vehicle sales at the moment, so we will do that in just a minute. Alright, there we go. Okay, so this harvest is 65%. It's going to pick up this, it's going to finish that field quick smart. So here we go, let's have a look. We've got a Valtra. Oh, we've got a front load attachment. So we can use a front loader. So we can buy a tractor with a front loader, and then that eliminates the need for a forklift or a pallet telehandler to move these eggs. So we're going to have to empty him pretty quick. So I mean, we could go and look to buy something new, but we're just far better off just waiting to see if we can get something second hand. So normally if you've got a big enough pipe on your combine, what you can do is, so he's ready to unload, so dismiss the worker, drop the header, and we're just going to back into this trailer just here. Yeah, you can unload on the go, so you just drive alongside the combine and empty out the grain cart as you go, which is a good option to keep your combine moving, and then you just cart the grain either back to your silo or back to another truck or vehicle to move it on in bulk. Okay, that's good. So you've still got 500. Oh, that didn't unload at all, so I must have still had some wheat in the trailer from the chickens. Well, there you go. Right. Get the combine back underway. We'll go and drop off this. Go and drop this wheat off. So we're just gonna we'll take a portion directly into the chicken coop itself, just so we don't have to do another trip later. So that chicken coop's back to full capacity. Okay, and then we just unload the rest into our silo. So our combine is nearly finished. So you can see how quickly it's done that area. It's really quite remarkable. So our other goal is to get to 1 million in revenue. So we are well on the way actually. So 227,000. Obviously we're going to have a... Okay, let's grab this guy. So I'm just going to manually do this bit because it's a bit tricky for the harvester. Okay, let's back one up. Yeah, so we want to get to $1 million in a sustainable way, and then that just sort of opens up. Oh, hang on, let's get this harvester turned back on. Just opens up more opportunities for, you know, what you might want to expand your farm into later on. Right, so I'll let him go. He's underway there. We'll leave this guy free just to unload the combine if we need to. We can only get 120 horsepower out of this thing, so not ideal. So I think we're going to miss the boat on... I mean, unless we lease a telehandler. Might be something I need to think about, because this is probably, like, if we look at the price of eggs, fast food restaurant, which is, so if I tag the place, it's literally just there, so super close. Alright, we're done here, so let's get this header off. So I'm not going to worry about unloading into the trailer, I'm just going to drop that off. So we're probably sitting on, so what have we got? Yeah, so that's going to be the best price. So we've got 6 pallets, that's 4, 8, 16. Hang on, quick maths. 4,000, 8,000, 16,000, 20, 24, about $28,000 worth of eggs. So even if we leased a telehandler, so the cheapest telehandlers are quite expensive. So even if we leased a forklift, what is this going to cost us? So it's going to cost us $1,887 to lease for the day, and we're potentially going to make $36,000. So basically what I'm going to do there is just drive them over one at a time, potentially. So we will see what happens. Alright, where are we at? So we finished harvesting. We've got our sell point for eggs, which we've chosen, if we're going to hire the forklift to drive them over. So basically what I'm going to do is take these eggs, potentially, from here, one pallet at a time, and just drive them over to the sell point. We've worked out we could probably get 30 odd thousand for that, so 4,000, 8,000, 12,000, so 24,000, sorry. And the leasing cost will be probably about $1,200, so probably worth it. I mean, really, look, it is worth it, because then otherwise we have to wait until next November to get the best price, and it's a significant drop in December, so I think we might do that next episode. Alright guys, well thanks for watching the video. Hope you got some useful tips out of it. Consider subscribing to the channel if you like the content. Leave me a like or a comment if you've got any questions, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.